Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Delighted to be joined by Joe Mcnally at the Rotunda ABC. A lot of history in this boxing gym, Joe. Before I start, I just want to ask you, I feel like in the last couple of years you've kind of brought yourself on as one of the top emerging trainers in the UK with some of the results you've had and some of the fighters you've got. So just for the fans out there, I want you to just tell me which trainers in the current era do you look up to when it comes to the technical side of training and also corner instructions, because they're two different aspects, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's a deep question to start.
It is a deep question, yeah. Obviously, I look up to every trainer that puts the time and effort into the sport, because it's not easy. Some of them hold down full-time jobs. They're not in a position that I'm in myself at having, very high-profile fighters where, your wage packet is covering 90% more than the average job. And, I'm really in a gifted position with the fighters that I've got. But every coach I look up to, and, even from the amateur coaches right through to, your established professional coaches in this country, your Peter Fiore's, your Dominic Ingle, Adam Bood, Joe Gallagher's, and you can learn something off every single one, down to an amateur coach, a GB coach, professional coach. It's my mindset as coaching is I never look at any coach and go, this is what should be done, this is this. I've got my own philosophies, my own training. There's a few idols I've got as coaches. The late great Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, Bowie Fisher, and the list goes on and on. But I learn off everyone, and I admire every coach that puts the work and hours into the game.
What's interesting is from speaking to your fighters, and one of the common things I learned from all of them is that they said you don't change them, you add stuff to the game. How important is that as a coach?
Yeah, it's for me that's essential. That's my style. As an ex-fighter, I had to cope with many different styles and adjust and do this. And I do know, without saying names, a lot of coaches implement a style they want to teach. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's more beneficial if it's implemented from a child through to, you develop them from schoolboys to juniors to senior to professional. I think you'll have more success with that. But I do think every fighter is like a fingerprint and work to their capabilities, their assets. And look, I've said it before, the fundamentals of boxing, don't reinvent it. Your balance, your jab, your defense, your positioning, your head thing. Every fighter's got to nail that, and it's like anything. Sometimes you can stray away too much from the foundations and lose them and think, oh shit, what's going wrong and not performing? Go back to the foundations, remind yourself what got you there in the first place. But as they'll all say, I've got the full variety in here: southpaws, orthodoxes, come forward fighters, counter punches, and I try and work to their best of their capabilities and improve them at their game, and give them every different look what I see fit that'll be beneficial for them, definitely.
It's interesting. Now, what I picked up in there is what you said about every fighter has his own fingerprint. Basically, it's quite an interesting analogy. That good one. Just moving on to your fighters, we've got Kevin Agyarko. Seen Kevin back in the ring today training. He's got a big fight coming up on the Katie Taylor undercard. The key thing I picked up from there is no warm-up fight. He's going straight in against a guy that's literally going to be coming to win and has only lost at top level. Are you obviously that confident in him?
Yeah, I am. I'm really confident. He's had a good session today. We joined up last year, and we had our trial and tribulations, and he had a very tough fight in an American boy, one I believe, very confident in. And as the camp progressed, he hurt his hand, and it got worse and worse and worse. And then it was my decision to pull him out of the fight. The Americans at the time made a lot of song and dance about him having no heart, not doing this. The truth of it is he would have knocked the American boy clean out. But look, at this level and where I want him to be, it was more beneficial for him to get the problem solved instead of trying to delay the inevitable, which is the operation what he had to have. He's had hand problems for a few years, but in he comes again. He's fighting a live fight in Grand Tennis. He's no spring chicken, but he's tough, he's fit, he's strong. It's a live fight, but look what I see in the gym with young Kevin. You know, he's 25, 26 years old. He's fresh, and I really think he can pick up and be a version of the world title at 154 when Charlo hates them in the next 18 months. I want him to be at the top of the tree, and I think this fight, you know, it's pointless him coming back against the, you know, a journeyman. He's done all that. This is a good fight, and, you know, hopefully he gets the rounds in, and then he'll push on from there. Then, you know, try and fight midsummer, and, you know, let everyone know that he's back, and, you know, he's there to crack on.
Any concern regards to him, because he's always wanted to fight back home, he's fighting close to home, it's going to be a big crowd. Any concern that the occasion might get to him and he might go all swinging and dancing? Because I know you want him to be a bit more refined in his attacks, especially because when he lets go, he's like a machine gun, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, he is like a machine gun, yeah, but, you know, sometimes you've got to save a few bullets. So if you let go too much, you run out, then you're fucked. But the occasion, obviously, it's a big thing. One thing is with Kevin is he strives under the lights. He loves it. He generally loves being under the lights, and I just think it'll elevate him. It'll elevate his game. Obviously, it's my job and Declan as his coach is to keep him cool, calm, and collected, and, you know, put in a good performance. But the kid is a star, and look, he loves being under them lights. And, you know, if someone was made for the game, you know, this kid is. He's a showman.
A quick word on James Metcalf, was also fighting on the same card. Looking forward to having a world champion joining Jim again?
Yeah, I certainly am, yeah. You know, it's as I've just stated with Kevin, James is 35 this year. He was retired not too long ago off the back of a defeat to Kieran Conway. And I coached James, I think it was 260 in 2017, around that, for 4 or 5 fights, and we had a good win, a good few wins, and we parted ways, and he come out of retirement to take the Cayman Lariaja fight, and he's won that, propelled himself, gambled, won again, has positioned himself. He's in a live fight against Dennis Hogan, fantastic operator, just come off a good win against Sam Eggington, and I think it's going to be a barnstormer. I think, you know, Hogan's not going to give his belt up that easy, and James, you know, it's his dream to be a world champion. You know, it's not one of the major 4 governing bodies, but look, all the more so it is a world title, and I think, you know, James, it's the passion and the drive to achieve what he's set out to be. The goal's there, and he wins this. You know, stranger things have happened that could propel him to one of the major governing bodies. But at the 154 division, it all depends what Charlo does. But I'm excited for him, and, you know, I think he's going to be in a good, difficult fight, a very difficult fight, but he's going to come through victorious, definitely.
I look forward to it. Got to ask you, a few weeks ago, or was it last week, Liam Smith, Chris Eubank Jr. came face to face in the press conference. I don't know if was he expecting the kind of responses we got from Chris, and what did you make of them? Because I spoke to Kevin. Kevin is suggesting that Chris looks mentally weak. What did you make of Chris? I personally thought he was quite witty.
I thought he was quite witty too. Yeah, I thought. Do you know what? I actually like Chris, to be honest with you. I think he sells the sport magnificently. He puts it in good light, and he knows how to sell a fight. And he's comedy gold, really. Obviously, a lot of people, he's in Liam's head, he does this. I don't think you could get in Liam's head. Liam's just angry, well, 90% of the time. So even when you think you're in his head, it's just him being natural. But I've seen clips of the press conference, and obviously I've seen a few things that were said and this, that and the other, but look, I couldn't give 2 fucks about the press conferences, really. It's down to the fighters. Liam goes down on his own, enjoys it, and Chris is enjoying it, and you know what, it's a good chalk and cheese type of thing, you know, the complete opposites, but the complete opposites at this moment in time are gelling, and, you know, it makes another interesting fight. It's a hard fight too, and you know, one Liam may be prepared for, and, you know, it's credit to the 2 of them for going at it again.
One of the key things he said was, he brought up the elbow. I know you've addressed the elbow issue before, and he spoke about the elbow, and he also feels like the referee robbed robbed Liam of a conclusive ending, and robbed him the chance of recovering. What did you make of that comment?
It's a funny one, really. Being, obviously, having the best seat in the house, in the corner. Obviously, the strategy that we worked on, the Prince, had come a lot sooner than anticipated. But, you know, when he knocked him down the first time, it had a call to be stopped. If you watch the fight back, the only thing Victor Loughlin didn't do was wipe your gloves, step to me. If Chris stepped to him, he would have stumbled. So that's telling you your equivalent's gone. You know, you're in no position to continue. So it could have been stopped off the first knockdown. But then the fight resumed, and Liam finished the job. Now, when Chris got up, my first reaction was when he got up, is he's a fighter, and he's so proud, and he doesn't want to lose. Never mind getting knocked out, you know. And when he jumped up, so Paul and Declan arrived in the ring first, but what I did see is Victor didn't. I can associate with Chris with this, but he's coming off a little bit wrong. Victor didn't really have a grip on the scene that was playing out. Now, I looked at Liam, and if the fans or people watch the fight back, because I've never spoke about this, but if you look at Liam's only half celebrating. Now, Chris is completely gone, but he's pushing Victor away. And he's looking to engage with Liam. Now, I'm not bothered about Chris, he was completely gone. But it was Liam that was looking to re-engage again with Chris, and I thought, oh shit, he's going to chin him here, and he's completely gone. So I grabbed hold of Chris to protect him from himself, but also Liam's looking to engage. Now, I know Liam's demeanour, I know his facial expressions, I know everything about the kid, and when he pushed Victor away, Liam's looking to go bang, and it would have been, imagine that, you know, it would have been the controversy would have been terrible, because, you know, Victor's only a small man, Chris is a big, strong bloke, and I grabbed hold of Chris, and I said to him, son, it's over, and Roy, and, you know, I can't expect Ronnie Davis to get up, you know, he's jump up really quick, he's getting on in age, but Roy was sitting there, the other guy was there, and I had hold of Chris, and it took him even a few seconds to realise who I was. I'm not saying he should know who I was, but like he was sort of like, he was out of there really, and so I'm happy that Victor never allowed him to continue in this, because with Liam, he is a fantastic finisher, but that's how it played out. Concerning the elbow, for me, if he did get caught with an elbow, we got caught with an elbow. Look, if I'm throwing 4 or 5 punch combination, whether it's a 3 and a 2, a 2 and a 3, whether it's a 5, 1, 2, and you're bobbing up and down and moving, it happens in sparring. Oh, I've caught my elbow on his head there. Oh, he's caught me with a bit of an head. That's just boxing. That just happens. The elbow never knocked him out. If you look, it was a peach of a right hand and left hook. He finished him off with the left hook, nearly spun his head around. But, you know, if he did catch him with a bit of a, you know, forearm / elbow in the process of throwing a combination, and Chris is trying to defend, that happens. That's contact sport. It's the sport of boxing, and if that's what gives him the confidence to say, this is why he knocked me out, hit him with an elbow, and he needs that, so be it. That's his way of dealing with it. Personally, I wouldn't like to deal with that myself, you know, be like, you know, I don't really want to get caught again, get chinned, so I'd forget about the elbow. But Chris being Chris, he's a good guy.
Interesting stuff. And then just finally, you got Josh Taylor on June 10th in a huge mega fight in New York. So you've got a busy June coming up. Just want to speak to you about the comments Teofimo Lopez made recently, because I know we'll speak about the fight. Did you see the comments first of all?
No.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Basically, he had to go at ESPN's production staff, namely Andrea Ward and Timothy Bradley, basically saying All these motherfuckers ride dick. They suck dick. Sorry for my language, but that is a problem. And it's suggesting that ESPN want black fighters and they can keep them, and he probably won't fight on ESPN again. Obviously, it doesn't really concern Josh because obviously he's white, but just he's basically having a go.
Do that. Who's he saying that to? Sucks dick, and who's meant to be that aimed at the ESPN?
The ESPN staff, and I think he's basically suggesting that they favour black fighters, and it's the last time he'll be fighting on there. And then I think he put a picture up the other day with Donald Trump and caption, "I like being the bad guy," something along them lines. Do you think it's just mind games, just trying to attract attention to the fight? It doesn't really concern or direct anything towards Josh?
Yeah, well, as I've just stated, I haven't seen it, but it's sort of playing in lines with it's. Reports come back that he's a bit mentally round the bend. I don't know if he's a Fruit Loop or he's a lunatic, but I think the kid's, ancestry is Honduras. Is he from Honduras, and, coming out with ESPN's only a place for black fighters and this, that and the other. Look, there's no room for racism in the sport of boxing, period. Whether you're fucking black, white, yellow, green, yellow, it doesn't matter. So he can stick them comments up his arse. And there's no place in the sport. It's a universal language, it's a brotherhood, and I like it that way. Doesn't matter what religion you are, colour your skin, what your beliefs are. The sport of boxing should be pure, and to come out with comments like that, fuck them. And especially to disrespect legends of the sport, Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley, what fantastic day was to come out who've done 10 times more than what he's achieved. In my opinion, it's very, very disrespectful to the boxing community, to ESPN and two champions also. So all I'll say is that is, is he immature or is he just a genuine Fruit Loop? But fuck him, it is what it is.
Interesting thoughts there, Joe. Anything else you want to add before I shoot off?
I don't know. Where's my coffee? That's it.
I'll bring it next time, I promise. Joe,
Fantastic.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.